Hi everyone, thank you for joining. My name is Mahua and you are with me on TVAM, a wellness journey with me. In my last two videos, I talked about mindfulness and few mindfulness tips. If the topic interests you and you have not watched the previous videos, you may want to go back and watch those videos as well, or you can choose to stay here with me right now. Today I'm going to talk about journaling. What is journaling? How it is beneficial, and I'll share with you my favorite journaling techniques. Journaling is that simple act of writing informally. It could be just writing your thoughts, it could be writing your goals, your dreams, but primarily it's the technique to note your thoughts, note the way you react to things. This particular technique can be extremely helpful. Journaling can be extremely helpful for us to gauge our mental chaos that's going on and put it on a piece of paper. It helps us come back to the present moment, get more grounded, and also when we note down the thoughts that are going on in our mind on a journal or a piece of paper, it helps us kind of gain some perspective. I would suggest that please use a pen and paper and write down. Use a journal to write down rather than using an app or an electronic device. Somehow the process of holding the pen, writing, that shifts something within us. Journaling is extremely useful for us to really come back to that state of well-being, of mental well-being. The techniques that I'm going to share with you are something that I've learned over a period of time, and I found them very, very useful. I use all these techniques as and when required. Whichever technique seems most suitable for me at that point, I use those. Technique number 1. This technique is something we are all are aware of, and that is called free-flowing journaling. In this technique, you just write down whatever is happening in your mind, whatever thoughts that you have, without really any structure. If you are practicing this kind of journaling at night, just before going to bed, I would suggest you to add one element, and that is note down 2-3 things that you would do to change the situation tomorrow if it is within your capacity to change. Let's say you are struggling with a situation today and you write down your thoughts about it. Just note down those 3-4 things that you would do to change that. Technique number 2, I call it meditative journaling. In this kind of journaling, what we do is instead of meditating, we journal. This kind of journaling can be used when you are not able to meditate because of very busy mind, or you are a beginner and you are just learning to meditate and you have too many thoughts. During those times, pick up your journal and note down the thoughts that you have while you are trying to meditate. Once you do that, you need to compare your notes a week later, and you will see, if you use the same technique, you will see that your thoughts, 80% of your thoughts are repetitive. You will see the pattern of negative thoughts that you may have, negative self-talk that is going on within you. You will gain a complete visibility of your patterns, your negative self-talks, your repetitive thoughts that you have in your mind. You will get a complete picture of that. And that can be really empowering because that helps us to take an action. Technique number 3 is called introspective journaling. I call it introspective journaling. This is a technique where you go within and find out what are your priorities in life. We tend to lose a sight of our priorities in our busy lives. So just make a note of few things, like what are the 5 things that make you really happy? What are those things that are really, really important to you? What are few things that you are grateful for? Just note down these few points and you will get a view of what exactly you need to prioritize in your life. Technique number 4 is something that I learned recently, almost a year ago. This technique is called Future Self Journaling. This technique is devised by Dr. Nicole Lepera. You can find her on Instagram. She also goes by the name of the Holistic Psychologist. I find it very useful because it helps us, this technique helps us to be our future self. The things that we want to change ourselves within ourselves, it gives us a pattern, or I would say it gives us a complete structure on how we can actually do that. Let's say I am a fearful person and I want to change that thing about myself. And in my future self, I want to be a fearless person wherein I do not really have the fears that are kind of holding me back today. So there is a complete structure. What is that one pattern you want to change, or one thing about you that you want to change? If you have the opportunity, what are those actions, 5-6 actions that you're going to take to change that particular trait about yourself? What are the thoughts that goes on in your mind when you think of changing that pattern or that trait? And what are the feelings? So there is a complete template. You can find that template in Dr. Nicole Lepera's Instagram page as well. For other 3 techniques that I talked about, if you need a template, I can provide that. You just need to leave a comment below and I'll provide the template to you. So this was about journaling. I hope you find this information useful. Happy journaling. Stay well. Be well. See you next time. Thank you.